Morning. My topic is learning, inside learning, latent learning, and imprinting. First of all, learning. It is simply the acquisition of new information, knowledge, or patterns of behavior from experience and never due to fluctuation in motivation. So it is an irreversible process, and so it stands in direct contrast to irreversible changes that result from change in motivation. Learning can be considered as an adaptive change or modification in individual behavior as a result of experience. Certainly, it is an individual specific event different in different individuals. It is very significant in living animals which care for their young ones. For learning to become dominant, animals must be have memory, which in turn requires a large brain to store new information. And it is the ability of organisms to store it is the ability for to store and retrieve or recall effects, impressions, and information gained through learning and experience. So, as a rule, learning and memory go together because learning without memory is of no use. So, learning involves changes in behavior, and the results can be put to use only if they are stored and recalled as and when they are needed again. Based on physiological consideration, two kinds of memories can be recognized: explicit and implicit. Explicit memory, also called the declaration or recognition memory, it is always associated with consciousness and awareness. Implicit memory, also called non-declaration memory, does not involve consciousness or awareness. So, explicit memory is of two types: episodic and semantic. Episodic memory is the memory to explicitly recall the information about a specific event occurred at a specific time in a specific place. And semantic memory is the ability to consciously recall the knowledge of facts that are not related to specific time and place. Based on duration, memory is classified into short-term and short-term memory and long. The former short-term is short-living, whereas later the long-term memory is long-living or long-lasting. In higher animals, learning and memory results from the activity of the nervous system. So, in the learning and memory are complex phenomena involving nervous, physiological, and biochemical mechanisms. And evidences suggest that memory is biochemical event that involves uh, the synthesis of certain substances in the brain. The most active substance associated with learned behavior include RNA and also so-called the memory protein. So it has been shown that the composition of the tRNA of mucus or the neuron changes during learning. So the result in the synthetic of specific memory proteins that are associated with learned behavior. The next is inside learning. It is the learning behavior in which an animal learns how to solve complex problems easily and immediately in the light of past experiences. So, inside learning, it is rare in invertebrates but quite common among mammals. It is mainly the province of humans and other primates. Human beings have the unique efficiency to solve problems with exceptional ease and amazing rapidity with the help of high intelligence, high thinking, reasoning, analysis, interpretation, understanding, and key memory. Inside learning is probably the highest form of learning. It does not involve trial and error method but is based on information on previously gained or other types of knowledge. In a famous experiment of Kokler, a chimpanzee was placed in a room with scattered bones and a bunch of bananas hanging from the ceiling beyond the reach of the chimpanzee. Facing the problem for the first time, the chimpanzee responded by stacking the bones one above the other, climbing up and grabbing the banana. And the next is the latent learning or exploratory learning. It is the learning behavior in which an animal explores new circumstances and new surroundings and gains new information which may be useful later but not immediately. So it is a kind of pre-adaptation for a life in a later stage. It does not respond to stimulants immediately, but on later occasion the acquired information remains latent or unexpressed for some time without immediate reward or punishment. It may be advantageous to the animal in future. Later learning enhances the fitness and survival. Most animal behavior induces changes in an organism's relation with its environment. They may be direct responses to external Stimulus. Animals learn how new information when environment changes. This record information can be useful to later stage when the environment changes again. And latent learning reveals that not all behavioral activities are adaptive behaviors expertly meant for satisfying a need or for obtaining a reward. Next is imprinting. It is a simple and reversible form of species specific learning taking place during a brief period in the early life of many young birds and mammals. During it, a very young animal is genetically printed to learn a particular behavior. The very short period of this learning is called sensitive stage or critical period. In a way, imprinting is the process by which a young animal registers in its brain some of its early experiences. The young animal learns to direct its social responses to a particular object, usually to its parent. The major stimulus for imprinting may be visual auditory. It occurs only very short and sensitive period, sometimes a few hours or very early in life. It takes place soon after hatching or birth and often result in strong fixation and attachment, very difficult to change. Does not change take place during the critical period, it will not probably take place any time in future life. Critical period has a prominent sensitive phase and a mostly irreversible effect. During this period, social attachments and established and social customs are registered in brain and as engram. So imprinting depends upon the space conditions. Like phenomena, certain have profound learning. It was Conrad Lawrence who coined the term imprinting. Showed the goslings and the ducklings deprived of their parent very shortly after hatching would follow a moving object, and the first sea would use it as a substitute parent, ignoring their real parents. The moving object can be a human being, any other animal, or even a toy. Once registered in the brain, imprinting is irreversible. So this is about imprinting. Thank you.